I'm approaching 20,000 subscribers in my YouTube channel, which frankly blows me away. I never expected this. To go from 0 to 20,000 in 8 weeks. I'm very grateful to you all. Thank you. I must be doing something kind of right, but I'm always interested in user feedback, so look for a survey coming soon in the community tab, my channel homepage. The videos, I'm still finding my rhythm as far as making the videos. They take me a bit longer to make than I'd like. I'm on vacation for the next 10 days. Didn't have time to make a full-fledged video, but really wanted to get something out before I left. So this video will be a little different. It's mostly all from that player perspective, close-up of my hands with me playing and talking. And it'll be all about this basic riff shape. Real common, just a couple bars, but you can do a lot with it. It's the basis for quite a few riffs. As always, there'll be examples from several songs. And from my free web app, you know what's coming, The Building Blocks of Rock, which you could find at guitarviz.com. Now I'm going to cover the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings and add a second bar 2 frets higher. Super common, basis of a lot of riffs. For that second bar, you can use the 3rd finger or the 4th finger, or for those who have trouble barring with those 2 fingers, individual fingers. Here's an example. I Thank You by ZZ Top. That intro to I Thank You is this riff we're talking about, along with another riff, open strings to an open A chord. The verse, kind of similar, sounds like this. By the way, the previous week's lesson had to do with C shapes. That little riff right there. Just the bottom couple of strings of these C-shaped chords. A fast change from the E to the D. Back to the verse. What I played was actually a combination of 2 different guitar parts. I was playing this. Listen carefully to the original recording. You hear it's 2 different guitar parts, in contrast to the intro, where it was all one part. Here, in the verse, you've got one guitar just hanging out on an open A note with a kind of an octave sound. While the second guitar continues to play this riff. But notice how when you just play it in isolation, it doesn't sound quite as full. You don't have that open 5th string. More importantly, you don't have the sound of that root note establishing tonality, background tonality. A lot of these riffs and licks, if you just play them in isolation without having the sound of the root in your head, it might sound a bit off. So if you don't have a bass player or a second guitar player hanging around to play that underlying root note for you, just reach over every now and then, hit that root note, help establish tonality. Speaking of tonality, compare that to the minor pentatonic scale shape. Notice how one of those notes in this riff, that note there on the 2nd string, is not in the scale. Finally, an even better way to establish tonality, if you can, is you can include the root note. Hook your thumb over. We'll look at a shape next that does that. Or use the open string if you can. Again, we're here at A, 5th fret. The root note is there, 5th fret, 6th string. That's an A note. Well, look at, we have an A note just waiting for us with that open 5th string. So some of these riff examples use that open 5th string. More examples, going way back, but Space Age Sacrifice by Montrose. The rhythm guitar part underneath the keyboard solo in Smokin by Boston. Listen in, he's kind of just riffing off of this basic riff shape. Combining it with that, once again, that boogie pattern, along with the note above it. Now, another way to get the sound of that root note in the bottom string is just to wrap your thumb around and fret it. The thumb mutes the 5th string. The first finger of the fret hand mutes the top string. You play the 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd strings. I used to think that was the sound of early Santana, Evil Ways, Oye Como Va. But no. More careful listening and finding some YouTube video, close-up of his hands, looks like it's this shape instead, which is the top part of an E shape E minor chord without the 6th string. And he uses his pinky to go down and form that bar. Or the 3rd finger sometimes gets in the way. I'll remove it just so you can see what the pinky is doing. It plays one note, but then bars. In these Santana examples, you're basically going back and forth between 2 chords, minor chord to a major chord. The bar is the major chord. It's part of that basic A-shaped bar chord, 5th string root. If you used your 1st finger for the bar instead, you could think of it as a 6th string root. They're both basically the same thing. But in the other song examples I have in this video, it doesn't really seem like you're going back and forth between 2 chords when you shift between the 2 bars. It's more like you're just riffing over one chord. Another example, introduction of the Faces version of I'm Losing You with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood. Here at the 10th fret, D is the root. Couple of hammer-ons or pull-offs with in between the 2 bars. And then a little surprise note on the 3rd string. We'll take a closer look at that in the next shape. Finally, ending with some octaves going up the 6th and 4th string using the thumb and the pinky. Thumb mutes the 5th string. I'm not sure whether I have the fingering for this right. He could just be used. First off, it's a power chord on the bottom in addition to these 2 bars. Maybe he is using a normal power chord shape like this. But he would have to get his 1st finger back in position really quick after doing this little lick that ends the riff. So another possibility is he could be using his thumb instead of the 1st finger. pinky for the bar. Finally, another fun fact, the second guitar, when it comes in, does pretty much the same thing, only down an octave. Add a third string hammer onto that first bar, and you get this type of riff. Example, Funk 49. You're hammering on from the flat third to the major third. So you got a major chord type of sound. You've also got that flat seventh in there, kind of a seventh chord. Similar to this really common lick, two-string lick. Looks like this, sounds like this. And there's a second little riff in there. When it goes to the D chord, it's coming off that D chord. You could say it's kind of a G type of shape. And then back to the A chord. Slow, it sounds like this. And I know my thumb gets in the way, I'll try to keep it out. A lot of pick hand and fret hand muting going on too. Have a drink on me, another example. This lick, this riff we've been looking at, adds the open fifth string in. Then goes into this little lick that was the subject of a previous video. Repeat. Down here to a C chord, power chord. Adding in the open fifth string before ending up on the open A chord. Finally, here's a few more examples. The outro of Long Train Runnin' by the Doobie Brothers. Listen carefully to the main guitar that's doing this riff. In the last, 15 or so seconds, it shifts from the main riff to doing this. Just those two bars we were talking about. Root is G down here at the 3rd fret. Or David Gilmour's first solo album back in 1978, Cry from the Street. Root is F sharp down here at the 2nd fret. Finally, Johnny Winter, still alive and well, walks this riff right up the neck through the chord changes. A, D, E. Every now and then I know it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm still alive and well. I'm still alive and well, just on vacation for the next 10 days. Look for a video real soon after I get back. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please remember to like or subscribe. Thanks.